Hi there, I'm the Kuya Cat. Do you like the Elder Scrolls Skyrim or fantasy stories in general? Do you like audiobooks? Well, for a few years now I've been doing my own little fan audiobook over on my channel. I'm just getting into the second season of it, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to expand my modest following. If Elder Scrolls audio fanfiction sounds nice to you, then come on over. Here's a little sample. Hope you enjoy it. Sighing as his stomach put up a dogged protest about his dietary choices that night, the hunter remembered the remaining jerky in his pack and started doing some rough, hunger-addled math. He briefly considered jamming a finger down his throat to purge some of the alcohol, but decided against puking on some farmer's crops. Seriously though, what was that? What was this gnarled beast who'd began chewing through his gut? Was it there before he'd sunk so deep in his cups, or was it just a drunkard's shame? Regardless, it was a type of shame. He slipped his fingers into his collar and tugged lightly at his furs, not wanting to open himself up to the bite of the Skyrim night, but still desperately needing to air himself out. The wind of the night was a sleepy mountain's breath. The wheat was a whispering crowd. The hair on his neck and chest stood up as night set into his bones. That most uncanny of all evening's machinations had come. The witching hour was upon him. Electricity flooded his veins, sleep passed from eventuality to abstract concept, and he looked up to the unlikely focal point of the sky, spread his arms out wide, and let out a howl. Into that howl he put his regret, longing, fury, and frustration. He purged all that which could not be allowed to fester and sent it ringing across the fields. The sound echoed strangely off of what he did not know. Stone walls and wooden fences hardly had the makings of a cave, but alas, here it came, rolling back to him. It had not been a wolf's howl, but it sure sounded like one now. Then another. And another. They were getting closer. Oh no, the hunter breathed. He jumped up on the wall and looked around, trying to figure out their direction. To the east he saw shadows darting over a fence into a wheat field, briefly distinct from the darkness of night. Then the moon-kissed tips of the wheat began to part and whip in herald of the danger. The hunter dropped off the divide and snatched up his pack. They weren't between him and the gate. Running was a grim prospect, but at least it was still an option. He didn't even bother slinging his bow over his shoulder. He just held it in his hands and took off back the way he'd come. He hardly made it 5 steps before his way was blocked by a huge black shape. A single fierce eye gleamed at him out of the night. Massive paws clawed at the ground, and sharp bristles like spikes rose above it, setting its dreadful outline against the distant lights of Whiterun. Titus, the one-eyed wolf, stood before him once again.